Imagine opening your eyes and realizing you've traveled 20,000 years into the past. You're standing in the middle of the Ice Age, completely alone with nothing but snow in every direction. The freezing air hits you instantly. Within minutes, your biggest enemy isn't hunger or wild animals. It's the deadly cold that can slowly steal your body heat. As you explore your surroundings, you notice enormous footprints frozen into the snow. Whatever made them is much bigger than anything you've ever seen before. Then you see it. A giant woolly mammoth peacefully walking across the frozen land. It looks incredible, but it also reminds you that this world plays by completely different rules. If you want to survive your first night, finding firewood becomes your top priority. Every dry branch you collect could mean the difference between life and death. Without matches or a lighter, starting a fire is much harder than it sounds. You patiently strike 2 stones together, hoping for even the smallest spark. Finally, the fire catches. Warmth spreads through your freezing hands, and for the first time since arriving, you feel a small sense of hope. Now you need a safe place to sleep. A nearby cave seems perfect, but in the Ice Age, you can never assume an empty cave is truly empty. Inside, you discover huge claw marks carved into the rock walls. Suddenly, you realize this cave may already belong to a dangerous predator. You quietly step back, deciding that staying alive is more important than taking risks. But this is only your first day, and much greater challenges are waiting just ahead. Water is essential, but reaching it isn't easy. Every step across the frozen river could crack the ice beneath your feet. After breaking through the thick ice, you finally collect fresh drinking water. Even the simplest task becomes a real survival challenge during the Ice Age. Food is becoming harder to find. Some berries might keep you alive, while others could make you seriously sick. So every choice matters. Fresh wolf tracks suddenly appear in the snow. That means a pack is nearby and they may already know you're here. Instead of fighting, you stay hidden and remain perfectly still. In the wild, avoiding danger is often smarter than facing it. You spend the afternoon improving your spear. It won't make you unstoppable, but it gives you a better chance if danger comes too close. Sleeping in the open is far too risky. A simple shelter can protect you from the freezing wind and help keep precious body heat inside. For the first time, you have a place that feels almost safe. The warm fire and thick animal hides make the brutal cold a little easier to survive. Dark clouds gather overhead and heavy snow begins to fall. A powerful winter storm is moving in faster than you expected. You seal the entrance to your shelter and prepare for a long, freezing night. But surviving one storm doesn't mean you've survived the Ice Age. The real test is only beginning. Morning finally arrives and somehow you made it through the freezing storm. Every new sunrise in the Ice Age feels like a small victory. You step outside and discover the world has completely changed. Fresh snow covers everything, making it even harder to find food or recognize safe paths. The only clues in this frozen wilderness are the footprints left behind. If you follow them carefully, they might lead you to food or straight into danger. In the distance, you spot a herd of reindeer. They could provide enough food and warm clothing to help you survive for weeks. You take a deep breath, aim your spear, and throw it with all your strength. In the Ice Age, every hunt is a gamble between survival and starvation. Your hunt is successful, and you silently thank nature. Nothing goes to waste here. Every piece of the animal could help keep you alive. Instead of eating everything at once, you preserve the extra meat by drying it over the fire. Smart planning is just as important as finding food. The animal's hide becomes your new coat, protecting you from the freezing wind. Warm clothing can mean the difference between life and death in this icy world. You stop to plan your next move carefully. Exploring without a plan could lead you into dangerous territory or leave you hopelessly lost. From the top of the hill, you see a vast frozen world waiting to be explored. But somewhere out there, even greater dangers are already searching for their next meal. With fresh supplies packed, you continue deeper into the frozen wilderness. Every step takes you farther from safety and closer to the unknown. Suddenly, you hear a strange sound echo through the silent forest. In the Ice Age, even the smallest noise could mean a predator is nearby. You slowly peek around a tree and freeze. Standing in the distance is a giant saber-toothed cat. one of the most feared hunters of its time. Running would only attract attention, so you carefully back away without making a sound. Sometimes surviving means knowing when not to fight. You climb onto a fallen tree and wait patiently. Your heart pounds as you hope the predator never notices you're there. After what feels like forever, the saber-toothed cat finally disappears into the forest. You let out a deep breath, knowing you escaped by pure luck. As you continue exploring, you discover a hidden cave filled with ancient paintings. Someone lived here thousands of years ago, leaving behind clues about their world. The drawings show animals, hunting scenes, and daily life during the Ice Age. They remind you that early humans survived here long before modern technology existed. You imagine families gathering around warm fires, sharing food and protecting one another. Survival wasn't just about strength, it was also about working together. Inspired by what you've learned, you leave the cave and continue your journey. But the greatest challenge of your Ice Age adventure is still waiting just ahead. The journey only gets tougher as you climb higher into the frozen mountains. Every step drains your energy, but turning back isn't an option. From the mountaintop, you can finally see just how enormous the Ice Age really is. Endless snow and ice stretch far beyond the horizon. As you admire the view, you notice huge cracks spreading across a nearby glacier. It's a reminder that even the ground beneath your feet can become dangerous. The only way forward is across a narrow bridge of solid ice. One wrong step could send you falling into the freezing depths below. A sudden cracking sound echoes through the mountains. The glacier begins to break apart, and you realize you have only seconds to escape. You run as fast as you can while giant blocks of ice crash behind you. Sometimes survival depends on speed just as much as strength. Safe at last, you stop to catch your breath. Escaping the glacier reminds you that nature can be just as dangerous as any predator. Then you notice something unusual in the distance, smoke rising into the sky. That can only mean one thing: other humans are nearby. You quietly move closer and discover a small prehistoric camp. For the first time since arriving, you're no longer completely alone. Instead of showing fear, you approach peacefully with a small gift. In the Ice Age, trust and cooperation could be just as important as food or fire. The prehistoric people welcome you into their camp with cautious smiles. In this harsh world, making friends could be one of the smartest survival decisions you'll ever make. As everyone shares food around the fire, you realize something important. Surviving the Ice Age isn't just about strength, it's about helping each other. An experienced hunter teaches you how to shape a sharp stone spear. Thousands of years ago, simple tools like these meant the difference between eating and starving. You carefully make your own spear, learning from every mistake. The better your tools become, the better your chances of surviving another day. The group nods with approval as you finish your first real hunting spear. For the first time, you begin to feel like part of the tribe. At sunrise, you join the hunting party heading across the frozen plains. Everyone has a role, and now you're part of the team. Hidden behind the snow, you quietly watch a herd of giant woolly mammoths. One wrong move could ruin the hunt, or put everyone in danger. Working together, the hunters slowly guide the mammoths toward a natural trap. Success depends on teamwork, patience, and perfect timing. The hunt is a success, and the entire tribe celebrates. One mammoth can provide enough food, warm clothing, and useful materials to last for many weeks. Nothing is wasted. The meat becomes food, the fur becomes clothing, and even the bones are turned into tools. Every resource matters when you're fighting to survive the Ice Age. As night falls, the tribe gathers around the campfire. The oldest hunter shares stories of survival, passing down knowledge that has protected generations. Looking up at the stars, you realize they are more than beautiful lights. For Ice Age hunters, the night sky was a map that guided every journey. When food becomes scarce, the entire tribe begins a long migration. Staying in one place for too long could mean running out of resources. The journey is exhausting, but everyone helps carry supplies. In the Ice Age, survival depended on teamwork, not just individual strength. Along the way, you discover a frozen lake filled with fish beneath the ice. It's a rare opportunity to gather fresh food without risking a dangerous hunt. Breaking through the thick ice takes patience and effort. Every hole you make brings the tribe one step closer to another meal. Success. You catch a large fish, and everyone celebrates the unexpected reward. Even a single catch can make a big difference during the long winter. The fresh fish cooks over the fire as the tribe shares another warm meal together. Moments like these remind you that hope can survive even in the harshest climate. But the weather changes without warning. Dark clouds gather overhead, and another powerful snowstorm is quickly moving toward the camp. Everyone rushes to secure the tents and protect their supplies. In the Ice Age, preparing before disaster strikes is often the key to staying alive. The blizzard hits with incredible force, and everyone works together to keep the camp standing. In the Ice Age, even a single storm could wipe out an entire tribe. Safe inside the shelter, the fire becomes everyone's greatest treasure. Without its warmth, surviving the freezing night would be nearly impossible. You carefully count the remaining food supplies. Every piece of dried meat and every fish must last until the next successful hunt. When food is shared fairly, everyone has a better chance of surviving. The strongest tribes were the ones that looked after each other. As the storm begins to fade, the tribe plans its next journey. Choosing the right path could mean finding food or walking straight into danger. With clear skies above, the tribe continues its migration across the frozen land. Every mile brings new challenges, but also new opportunities. Something unexpected catches your eye. Tiny flowers are pushing through the melting snow. A quiet sign that winter is finally losing its grip. The melting ice creates fresh streams of clean water. After months of surviving the bitter cold, the world is slowly beginning to change. Birds return to the sky, filling the silent wilderness with life once again. Nature is telling you that a new season has arrived. Standing on the hill, you realize you've survived one of the harshest environments in human history. But one final question still remains. Could you truly have made it all the way through the Ice Age? The frozen world is finally beginning to change. As the snow melts away, new life starts to appear, proving that even the longest winters eventually come to an end. Fresh plants begin growing across the land. After months of relying mostly on meat, these new food sources bring hope for an easier season ahead. The mammoths continue their ancient migration, just as they have for thousands of years. Watching them reminds you how perfectly these giants were adapted to the Ice Age. The rivers flow freely again, filled with fish and fresh water. Nature is slowly rewarding those who manage to survive the harsh winter. With warmer weather arriving, the tribe builds a stronger shelter for the months ahead. Planning for the future is just as important as surviving today. Standing beside the completed shelter, you realize you've become a true member of the tribe. Together, you've faced hunger, freezing storms, and dangerous predators. Now it's your turn to pass on what you've learned. Every survival skill shared today could save someone's life tomorrow. As laughter fills the camp around the evening fire, you understand that survival isn't only about staying alive. It's also about building friendships and creating a community. Looking up at the same stars that shine over us today, you realize that people have always dreamed, wondered, and hoped, no matter which age they lived in. You've come farther than you ever imagined. But before this incredible journey ends, there's one final question waiting to be answered. As you look back at the tribe, you realize they've taught you far more than just survival. They've shown you the power of courage, patience, and working together. It's hard to imagine returning to the modern world after experiencing life in the Ice Age. So many things we take for granted simply didn't exist. Today we rely on technology to solve most problems. Back then, every challenge had to be overcome with skill, creativity, and determination. During the last Ice Age, enormous glaciers covered huge parts of the planet. Life adapted to one of the harshest climates Earth has ever known. As the climate slowly warmed, the Ice Age came to an end. Humans began settling down, farming the land, and building the first great civilizations. The lessons learned during those difficult thousands of years helped shape the future of our species. Survival became the foundation for progress. Looking at your modern self, you can't help but smile. After everything you've experienced, everyday life suddenly feels much easier to appreciate. To survive the Ice Age, you needed 5 essential skills: fire, shelter, clean water, food, and most importantly, teamwork. Now it's your turn to decide. Do you think you could survive an entire year in the Ice Age? Let us know your answer in the comments below. Thanks for joining this incredible journey through one of the most challenging chapters in human history. If you enjoyed the adventure, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for the next fascinating survival story. Until next time, stay curious.